Hey guys, so this is about the Arbor injection press. I will make some comments about the assembly and also a little bit about the manufacturing. I think it's best I just walk around a little bit the frame and explain you a few things. So I made this weld over here relative weak, not strong enough. So what you can remove that and eventually make the frame higher. Okay, you could do the same also on the on the top bar. It's possible. So in that you could eventually upgrade or make a modification to use this standard 50 centimeter rack. Okay, so this is entirely up to you. At the moment we use only 13 centimeter of this rack, so you could add another 25 centimeters maximum. Okay, so the holes, we made sure the camera picks this up. These holes are quite precise, so it should go all easy. This middle bar, I said, you could reposition in the height you like. And yeah, that's so far about the frame. It's 3mm thick. So I made also sometimes here mistakes, but what? It should work, no worry about this. So this is how far, the position and accuracy in the home shop could go, more or less. Don't forget, we are here on a budget and we have to produce quite a few of these, so this is the best we get at this point. There's something like 3, 4, 5 hours, depends who's doing it, alone on these essential parts. So we have here on the middle bar these angle brackets, right? So they are gentle welded into place, so you can remove that also easily. The main power, however, force from the injection process, however, goes exactly on these points and then on the nuts. Okay. So the next is to get this middle bar in the frame. There are some steps to do. You want to have the barrel already installed when you do that. And in order to install the barrel, you want the heat band as well inside this middle bar. In order to do so, you're gonna just try to get this on the barrel. Now we know it's loosened enough to push the barrel for the heat band. When you can happen. So now you close this gently and so we twist this up and get our cable in position. No problem. So more or less the heat band is in position now. Alright, now time to place the barrel. I'm gonna check it again. No dirt so far. You can also recognize the upper part by this little bevel over here. Okay, this is where the plunger wants to get easily inside. So let's get this in here. Alright, that's fine for now. Now we get this in here. This one is a little bit tight, so we have to hammer this inside. That's why we have some damage here from the machinist hammer. We got the screws already nice in place, so we don't need to fiddle around too long. Same place. Voila. Okay, time to go. Okay, the lock screws to hold this one in place we leave for later. We also don't tie up the bolts for our sidebar bolts. Okay, this is because we would like to align this nice with the plunger, and then we tie everything up. Okay, so any tension or stress in this part we can correct and move around a little bit. So next is now the gearbox. We put this on the top. So yeah, the gearbox essentially is assembled like this already when we send it. You can see here this weld, and we did it like that you can easily grind this off in case you have to get it out. Okay, replace it with something else or whatever you have to do here. Okay, so we didn't make a weld in this direction, so it's really just this, and we think this will be enough also to show a little bit the limits of the machine. I think this, if you break this one, something went really wrong with your injection. More likely people tend to not wait until the plastic is really fluid enough. You can recognize this when the plastic is just coming out by itself through the nozzle of the barrel. So under no circumstance you should have it easy with this system to push it really hard. So if it's hard, there's something wrong else. So be just patient. Okay. So we have here 2 centimeter holes to place our sticks. We have also here some holes to lock them in place. About the part in itself, 2 asymmetric pieces, and there's nothing special about these. We machined this on the CNC, and it takes something like 1 hour 20 minutes, and there's a bushing pushed in here, and so 1 hour 20 minutes just for one on the CNC, and then you still have to make these holes here, and you have to be really precise. You also want to have here a little relief. This is for compensating this weld here on the side. Let me get the camera here. There's a little weld here on the frame, so you don't want to grind this all down. We did this at the beginning, but we realized it's better to have a little more material there, structural material, and so that's why we have this relief corner on this side. Now in fact we just can place it on the frame like this, in a way where everything fits nicely already together. At the beginning this might feel all a little bit hard, but this will wear out quickly enough to go all smooth. Okay, So there are many ways of doing this. So there's no real particular way of doing this, but to make things easy, you want to have this basically already like this in place. Okay, you can choose now the side which you like, right? Okay, now this will fall down, of course. So now we can come with our second bracket, push it on in here. Right, so this should go all easy. If not, try with a stick inside, and if you can move it with the stick, means you can still, scratch brutally the aluminium off until everything goes smooth. So now you want to make sure that these bolts are crystal clean. The best way of doing this is a hand drill with a metal brush, right? So it's what you should do with all the bolts you put in metal, okay? So clean this nicely up. So on this one, it comes from the front. So what you want to do is first put them more or less in place. So it should stick out 2 centimeters. So have them in place. One usually is always a bit difficult. So even with a CNC marking and drilling, this can go a little bit wrong. So if you have to hammer hard, you should stop, try another hole, okay? Otherwise you're gonna destroy your bolt. So now, piece by piece, I lock them almost in place. That's because we would like to still move things around and let it adjust a little bit. Whereas on each bolt, a ½ millimeter play in each direction, and eventually we want to consume this one. And the best way of doing this is to put the plunger at the top, or better said at the bottom of the rack. So we just connect it, okay? So more or less in place. Right, so time to get our plunger inside. Again, you want to clean this up nice as possible. You're also going to look for any marks or scratches you could eventually grind off with grinding paper. You don't want to have any dust or grease or anything on here. I think this has been said correctly in the precious plastic videos, so make sure this is really nicely polished. I installed the handle, or stud if you like, so we get this out of the way. Okay. So there's no right or wrong side, or both right. So now we're gonna have to check now eyeball that we have any wrong, this thing going into the wrong direction. And in this our case now it's going to be really banana. It's quite misaligned, if you like. So that's what I meant. Leave these bolts all a little bit untight so you can push things around. So this should go now relatively easy. Okay. What we do usually when we ship it or pre-install it, we're gonna get the plunger halfway through in here. Okay. Normally this will stay in place where there's not much play between the plunger and the barrel. So at this moment, okay, you should lock everything up and yeah. So time to lock the nuts for the gearbox. We check before everything is acceptable and smooth. Okay, you want this to have a little bit hard, also to lock this a little bit in place so it's not coming down on you. Now, normally you can lock these bolts as much you want. This bar shouldn't move, should move, sorry, still. If not, you are kind of lucky because this is when your way of, holding the rack in place or have enough friction in here that this is not moving by itself. So this is relatively stiff, what I'm happy about. Okay. Okay, so that would be the gearbox assembly. There's really nothing special at the end. Just take the time and apply common sense here. Okay, time to get the control enclosure in place. So this is made from 1.5 millimeter metal sheets, gently welded together. It's quite stable. Was throwing it on the floor, no problem so far. It looks really crap inside. You can see the welds, but more or less we clean it up. Okay. Takes almost 2 hours to make one nice paint and everything. Just a good paint will already cost you something like 2-3 euros on this one. So, also making the openings on the CNC takes some time. Your machine will be quite busy with this one, so also consider in total something like 2-3 hours just to make the chassis. Okay, now let's move on the wiring again. There's another video on our channel, so you can have some more details where. Let's start here from scratch. The camera picks us up. Okay, so this is our bottom with the one pointing to north, and it wants the power normally attached to the bottom terminals, so whether or connectors to the main supply, and the upper one supply our system. So since it's AC, we don't need to care too much. And as said in the other video, we're gonna wire this in, in the controller. Nice. And this is going into position number 1 and 2. It's also labeled on the controller. We bend this a little bit to have it easy. And we just try to plug it in place. We make sure nothing goes off like this. Okay, in this case you better take it out and twist this around nice. So I screw it just up. So this nut came out. Was lucky to put it back. So I just want to park it here or plug it here and add our next cables to it, because we share this power. Share the power. Okay, so one is going to the heat band directly. Okay, doesn't matter which one you take, it's AC. Again, we bend this, twist it up correctly so we have it easy to get in here, and we still have a good connection. Takes a quiet hand. So, and then you want to lock this up really good as possible with a good screwdriver, and you want to push from the bottom, from the top to the bottom. So have your control enclosure good in place and make sure this nut bolt is nicely tied up. Right, of course this one came out again, no problem with this. So I said this one will be shared to the heat bands directly, and there is a relay. This will interrupt this second power line for us. So, but still it wants to have some power source, even if it's just one. Okay, and this one we wire directly also to one, let's say power splitter on the controller. So I hope the camera picks up something. So I connected now just one power line to the relay input number. Oh no, I did something totally wrong. Oh, it's fine too. That can happen. This one is going to the relay, or it's also called the SSR, solid state relay, I think. Okay, this is going to the relay, and then we still want the actual power coming from our main switch. Okay, I just noticed again it's losing some strings. Okay, let's get this back in place. Nice and smooth. Okay, it's in place. Voila. So, okay, so we pick up now this power, plug it into the relay, terminal 1, which is basically the input. Alright, strong as you can, and again this will go through here and interrupt it as it is a switch, and this is the other side we go, or yeah, give to the heat bands. So you have this two. Okay, so what's left in here, we have two cables missing to actually control the relay. So over here I'm just checking everything is nice and tight. So I can't recall right now the order again. Anyway, I'll just try. So it says 3 until 32 DC. So I plug now the 4 into the output of the controller, which would be then on the controller terminal 5. That's alright, please don't make any crap out on my cable. Yes, it's right. So that's a tight fit. Let's go to the next. Okay. And it became light. Sorry about this. Right. So I connected the other line from the relay to this one, number 4. So essentially this all should work now. Now it's just time to fire this up and test everything. Okay. We don't need to connect heat bands for that. What we want to do is, yeah, plug some power at least, right? Yeah, putting the fingers in here just doesn't give enough electricity. Yeah. Alright, so I decided to add here some security tips for free. So when you power up this kind of system, okay, it's now, yeah, supplying power, and you're not sure, or you just a beginner and you actually don't really have an idea what's going on here, but still you want to do this in your garage or in your lounge, okay. The best you can do is to prevent any accident, use one of these or anything you can turn up, right? And so with that you can keep a safe distance and you have everything under control. Don't touch anything. Yeah, and then just try. I know now that our control box in fact has power. Nothing, well, not really. So let's have a look again. Yes, voila. If you move it, things around, and this is what can happen. And I really urge you guys to make good connections, even if it takes you 10 minutes or whatsoever, okay, to get this cable in here. You just want to have always good connection. So this cable usually wants to be exactly under the bolt or screw. So if these are a little bit bigger than the cable, you have to take extra care, okay? And the best way to do this is to lay this on the floor or on a table and get in there as centered as you can and hold everything down with your fingers and then you're gonna have it so much easier to screw this. Okay, now you wanna make sure nothing goes out. Well, it's all right. If it does, well, repeat until this fits nice. All right, so this is turned on as I want. Let's see. No explosions. That's fine. We get 18 degrees. And it should go up. That's fine. Let me see. We hold this in the hand, it should go up. So we know, yes. Okay, let's do the next step. We check our relay or SSR. We turn this around. The thermocouple or sensor is tested. We are good with that. Now, I said this one is just interrupting one line of AC power, and voila. So technically, if a temperature is set, we should see at least that it's, yeah, we should have a red lamp, which means it would supply now. Careful with this one. Yes, you should see here a red light, which means yes, it's opening the flow of this second line of our AC supply, and with that it's fine. So we know now we can connect our heat bands. Let me pick up again. So one is coming directly from inside and the second one is coming from the relay. Alright, with that we are ready to go for installing the heat bands. There's really not much about it, but I'm gonna make some footage about. Alright, so I placed now our relay also in place. So I left a little bit of space to get our grounding connector on here, right? So whether the connectors you should normally use also for your power connections, these are quite good, but they can be also dangerous, because if you just buy from Amazon or eBay these cheap sets, right? If you don't use that right, or that are really too cheap ones, they usually tend to lose or slip out. So if that is a power cable, it's going to kill you, and nobody wants you to be killed by a processed plastic machine, right? So anyway, for less critical things, and I would consider now here this grounding cable not so critical. It's a lifesaver still, right? But it's not going to kill you that badly like a direct AC power line. Right, so if you get these guys on here, or make sure you let that wire coming out a little bit. So if you smash this together, this little bit cable watching out here will prevent, normally also on these cheap ones, but this one is slipping out. So right, so we said we want to ground our machines. So the short one goes in here, and now we can lock this, and the second ground cable goes on our machine. Alright, of course if you connect this, it's like a conductor, it needs to be a blank surface Yeah. If you connect this already or bolt it somewhere on the machine, you don't need to go around the chassis as well. So with that, you should be now relatively on the safe side. Always check, no cable slipped out, make a double check, pull on these cables a little bit, yeah, not too much, just to see everything is still in place, and we can move on. I'll make a test. Nothing, good. No boom. Yes, no boom. Fine. Okay, time to get our heat bands on here. So right now it's going still quite stiff. Alright, that's fine. We have enough space to get the heat band on here. So there's no particular order with these. You just start with whatever you think is right. So these are not installed yet. You have to open these quite. Usually I just go to the maximum, bend this a little bit, right, so I can have it easy. Now, there might be the question, do you let the cable hang down or do you let it point up? Okay, that really depends of what you're doing down here under the injection. So in the case you have here a lot of stuff going on, you want to have this pointed up. Otherwise, if it's just a mold, you want this to point up so it's out of the way. Ooh, we have neighbors. Right, number 2. And on this one, there's now still space for a little one we could use, which I would recommend. Hola, buen día. Right, so we are good to go. I'll tie this up a little bit. Okay, this one as well. And so the last thing you would do now is plug those heat bands into the system, which I don't when we ship it. Right, it's one quite more difficult to package each unit or system, but just to show you, if you receive this kind of machine, okay, you have these heat bands usually a bit stick together with flux, and you're going to look for 2 of these bigger outlets. Okay, I hope the camera just picks this up. So you're going to look for these bigger outlets, and this is where you place your heat band. don't forget, we have in this middle bar also another heat bed setting. Okay, so get this all to this two controlled outlets. The temperature sensor was there are many ways to do it actually. What I prefer usually to select first the section I want to measure. In this case of this machine, you probably want this to measure here, okay? And I say don't chop this off, okay? Or you want this intact as it came. If you chop it off, like in the videos from Dave Hackins, you may have problems. Okay, so I leave it there. It usually fits there nicely. You can have it like this. The other way would be just to, not in this case, not with this heat band, but yeah, this is where you could install it. You want a good connection, and there was also space, but yeah, this is up to you where you want to have it, and voila, this is it.